Folks, at a game they had to have, the Browns got beaten by a guy named Duck. Duck. The Rizzo Show starts now.
MGM Northfield Park presents The Rizzo Show. And now, your host, Tony Rizzo.
Now, no applause tonight. No. Well, for me, maybe. No applause. Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Rizzo Show. A very special guest is with me in studio tonight. His name, Michael Rizzo. My son, Mike, joining us. Mike, how are you, partner?
You know, I've been better after the Browns game today. Obviously, a lot of things happened in that game that we got to go through, but you know, it's just starting off with Freddie. I mean, running the ball with Nick Chubb 6 times in the second half.
We'll get to all that, partner.
A little tough.
Whoa,
yeah.
There he goes. The wild Colt is on the loose.
Yeah.
It was the 16th straight loss, Michael, for the Browns in Pittsburgh. It was a rough day for quarterback Baker Mayfield and a rough day for the Browns offense. Think about this. The Browns have Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and Baker Mayfield, and they scored how many points? 13 points? Come on, man. That's terrible offense. And look at this kid. Took a beating today. Michael, I got to tell you, Baker's a lot tougher than I thought he was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a competitor. You've seen it time and time again. I mean, he hurt his ankle a couple weeks ago, was able to come back. But I'm looking at Chris Hubbard right here on this play. He's got Olay blocking. He committed a lot of penalties today. And then on the other side, Justin McCray, who's filling in for Greg Robinson, who was out with concussion-like symptoms. You know, he didn't do him any favors either. They lost the game at the line of scrimmage. The Steelers coming into the game had 38 total sacks on the season. 30 of them were at home, and you saw that on display with Pittsburgh.
And I thought they imposed their will on the Cleveland Browns. Is it me, or did it look like the Steelers wanted it more today? Folks, how could the Steelers want it more? The Browns are playing for their playoff lives. Steelers didn't have their quarterback, didn't have their running back, didn't have their top wide receiver, yet somehow they found a way to win. Baker also had to leave the game right before half because of this. He dinged his hand on a helmet. I think that's Bud Dupree. Right there. He went into the locker room, came out, put a glove on, and I got to tell you, it didn't look like it hurt him at all.
No, and, you know, he probably got to some cortisone shots or whatever it was to kind of take that pain away. But let's just say for what it is, Dad, Freddie was trying to get points before the half. He did the same thing against Buffalo, which ultimately I was very critical about him, you know, for that game. It's just go to half, run the ball, take a knee, take the 10-10 tie before the half, and try to win the second half. Obviously, they didn't do that.
Here is Baker, who was asked what he and his team have learned this season.
We've been able to make the plays we needed to recently at home when it came to the critical moments, but on the road, it's, you know, even the finer details. And so we learned that we didn't make one more play than they did today. And it's all 3 phases of the ball. It's not like it's one area that we can blame. It's everybody collectively as a unit.
Well, I got to tell you, I'd love to have a beer with Baker and ask him for real what he thinks about this Browns offense. Folks, the Browns offense has turned Odell Beckham Jr. into a pedestrian receiver. That's pretty hard to do when you think about it. Yeah. Why do you think, Mike, the Browns have not been able to win on the road?
They weren't able to win at home for a little bit, too. I just think it comes down to game planning. I really do think it comes down to Freddie Kitchens. I mean, Terrence Mitchell picks it off with about 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they don't run the ball at all. They don't run the ball with Chubb. They throw 3 straight pass plays. They go 3 and out, and Baker takes the sack, and ultimately they have to try to punt it away. They end up pinning them down at the 1. But even Snell was able to bust up the middle for a 10-yard gain and get him off the 1-yard line. But there are just so many chances in the second half for this football team. And I'm sorry, I think it has to go down to the head coach and you know, schematically. It really does.
Well, we got beat by a guy named Duck. Okay. Yeah. And that's his nickname, folks. I don't know. I guess he was a duck caller when he was let's look at the quarterback comparison here. Baker, 18 of 32, almost 200 yards. He had that pick late. It was desperation, but I thought Hodges played a hell of a game. He just managed the game. He didn't turn the ball over, but only one time. It was an interception. It was a bad throw, but you're going to get that. People were wearing duck hats and duck masks at Three Rivers Stadium. Folks, the Browns are a better team than their 5-7 record. I can tell you that. And it falls on one person. At the end of the day, it comes down to the head coach. He's responsible for everything. He's responsible for getting his team ready to play, discipline, game plan. I know it's a tough job. I know he's a rookie head coach. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But you got to wonder, with the talent the Browns have, what would their record be with a veteran coach? If Dorsey would have hired a guy with head coaching experience, even at the college level. And it's a tough leap for this guy. Running backs coach 1 year, head coach of the Cleveland Browns the next. I'm not saying it's easy at all, and I'm not making this personal against Freddie, who's a nice man. But let's face it, at the end of the day, it comes down. Are the Browns better than 5-7? Michael, should they be?
Absolutely. It just comes down to coaching. And I feel bad, like you said, Freddie's a great guy and everything, but you go off to a 10-0 lead and then just not do anything with that and barely score for the rest of the game. It's mind-boggling. It's seriously mind-boggling. But in the end of the day, you got to take what you can get, and that wasn't a lot.
All right, let's give the Steelers some credit, because I'll tell you, Mike Tomlin has his team at 7-5, and I believe they would be in the playoffs if they started right now. Without Ben Roethlisberger, are you kidding me? That's a really good head coach. And think about what the Steelers did on defense today. Boy, tough day for Nick Chubb, who finished with only 58 yards. Clearly, their game plan on defense was to take away the Browns' running back in the running game, and they were able to do that. They forced Baker Mayfield to make some bad throws, and what did they do in the second half? They shut the Browns' offense down. You've got to give them some credit. You know, if they had Ben Roethlisberger this year, even with Smith-Schuster and Conley out, I still think that they would have definitely been a playoff team, and they are right now. Yeah. Imagine what their record would be if they had Ben in there.
Definitely. No one expected their defense to play like this, though. I know I certainly didn't. I mean, they're second in the league in takeaways, and it's just fantastic job by Mike Tomlin. I hate to say it. I'm not, a Steeler guy. Obviously, we're all Browns fans here in Cleveland, but you got to give credit for credit is due. That's a top-class organization that's able to overcome not one quarterback going down, but also two, and that whole debacle that happened with Mason Rudolph. So got to tip your hat to Mike Tomlin, and I'm puking as I say that.
Yeah, he's going to be in consideration for Coach of the Year. Plus, so is John Harbaugh in the Baltimore. We'll get to the Ravens here in a little bit. Time now for our Merriman Legal Play of the Day. Make Tom's team your team. Merriman Legal. I thought the game turned right here. 17-10 Pittsburgh. About 4 minutes left in the third. Baker under siege. He coughed up the ball. I think the Steelers got a field goal out of this, or at least took momentum away from the Browns. Their defense forces a fumble every game, and I thought that was the turning point in the game. Again, that is our Merriman Legal Play of the Day. Mike, time for our Rizzy recap. I said I thought the Steelers wanted it more today. I thought they played harder than. I thought the Browns' D was a little soft.
They were. And Steve Wilkes did not have them ready to play. They couldn't. Snell Jr., they're without James Conner, their number one back. And Snell Jr. was just able. I think he was averaging something close to 7 yards a carry today.
Meanwhile, offense was neutralized. Give the Steelers credit for that. They held the Browns at 13 points, and I think we can officially say it right now. 5-7. I know they're not mathematically eliminated, but no playoffs for you this year. And let me say this. I know everybody, our expectations maybe were a little out of control, but a lot of that comes from us being frustrated all these years watching Hugh Jackson 1-31. Then the way the Browns finished last year gave you hope for this season. I don't think we were out of line thinking the Browns can make the playoffs. It's not hard to make the playoffs in the NFL. Some team does it every year. They had a losing record the year before. But the playoffs aren't going to happen this year. We'll see what the future of Freddie Kitchens is. I've seen enough. I'll bet you the Browns give him another year, and that's probably the right thing to do. But we're all frustrated right now, and he's the guy in charge, and he's got to take the blame. I'm sure he'll take most of the blame behind closed doors. Mike, this about sums up how we feel after the loss. Sheldon Richardson got knocked out by the heater on the sidelines.
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to say this. I think everything's too close on the sidelines in these NFL games. You could take 5 yards and knock your head into a heater. Guy had to go into the injury tent because of the heater.
So I actually took a hit on the sideline covering OU football. I was doing some video, and let's just say I never did video again after I took a hit from one of the receivers.
One of
from
our,
Miami
my buddy Rock here at Fox 8 one time, we were covering a high school football game. The guy ran into his knee, tore a knee ligament. He had to have an operation. It's dangerous, kids, on the sidelines. The Browns are back home next week to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. By the way, Bengals got a win today, their first win on the season. Coming up, those dirty guys from up north. We'll explain. Watch what they. Well, all right. They're taking off. They're taking off JK's shoe right there.
It's the only way they can stop him.
What is that?
It's the only way they could stop him.
My goodness, Michigan, stay with us. How about the set, Mike? You like that?
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's national looking, isn't it? There we go.
See that?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at Mike Rizzo on the right, Joe Rizzo on the left, and Dad, I believe that was
With
Uncle
hair.
Patrick and Aunt Vicky's wedding.
Yeah, fantastic.
Am I right?
Yep.
Look at
Aurora
that.
Country Club.
Yeah, we had a ball there. Actually, it was Barrington Country Club, I believe. They got married at. Michael, what a game today in Baltimore as the Ravens beat the Niners 2017 on a last-second field goal. Folks, this game was played in a driving rainstorm, and I don't think anybody's going to say that the 49ers aren't any good after this game. I mean, they lost by a field goal at the buzzer, literally. The Ravens, don't look now, are 10-2. Guess what? They're going to win our division. And, Mike, the last team to beat the Baltimore Ravens was?
The Cleveland Browns, I believe, 8 weeks ago.
Boy, they're so much better now than they were back then. I give them a lot of credit. Here's the game winner, 48-yard field goal.
In a monsoon.
In a monsoon for the win. All right, Mike, let's chat about some crazy stuff that happened in college over the weekend. We'll start with our Buckeyes. Big win for the Bucks over Michigan. I never take that for granted, by the way. And when Michigan came out and scored first, I thought we might be in for a long day. But watch this. Michigan players, they had to be told to do this. J.K. Dobbins gets tackled. Watch his feet. They're untying his shoe, and they're taking his shoe out because they can't stop him on the ground, so they've got to get him on the sideline. Jim Harbaugh, Jimmy, you ought to be ashamed. If one of your coaches told your players to do that, that is really ridiculous. My, how the mighty have fallen. And if you like that one, how about this? Mississippi wide receiver Elijah Moore gets into the end zone. Watch his celebration right here.
Don't do it.
He's going to pretend he's a dog and pee on the sideline. You know what happened? That was a 15-yard field goal. So they need the extra point now to tie. His parents must be so proud. Mike, don't ever do that.
I promise.
Not even another thing.
I don't think I'm going to be playing college football anytime
anyway,
soon
the penalty set him back 15 yards, and they missed the extra point, and his team lost the game and will not go to a bowl game this year. Oh my, stop with the celebration stuff. By the way, the game was far from over. From football to basketball, Michael, the Cavaliers have now lost 3 straight. You cover the Cavs on a regular basis.
Yep.
They finished November at 3-12. Are they getting worse right now?
I believe so. You expected this, though. When they got out to that, I call it semi-hot start, you would think that at some point they'd come back down to earth. But your producer, Kate, and I were talking before the show. This Bucks game was really good. I mean, they were down almost 22, 23 points at one point in the game.
Yeah.
And they hit 10 3-pointers in this third quarter.
Yeah.
Really fought back. I do like the young players in Darius Garland, Kevin Porter Jr., and Colin Sexton. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting what they're going to do with the veterans like Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson. I don't know how long they're going to be here and what their tenure is going to be in Cleveland.
Listen, though, I want everyone to realize something. Those kids are 19 years old. They're 19 years old. Think about what you were doing when you were 19. They're going up against James Harden and Kyrie Irving and players like that in the NBA. It's tough for them. They've got a ways to go. And by the way, the Cavaliers host the Rockets December 11th, and yikes. The Rockets went crazy. Harden 60 points in 3 quarters. Coming up, get excited, kids, because we're going to spin the wheel. It's working tonight. Yeah.
What, wasn't working the other day?
It's temperamental. Stay with me.
Hello, everybody. My name's Chrissy Siva, here to tell you about some special promotions and offers we have here at MGM Northfield Park. Give the sleigh a break this year and win 7 cars in 7 days at MGM Northfield Park. This December, visit MGM every Tuesday and Saturday to win a brand new luxury Alfa Romeo SUV. Earn 3 times bonus entries on Thursdays and Fridays, and activate your entries the day of the drawings at your favorite VLT machine or kiosk. Multiply your entries by 20 on December 24th and 25th. And as an M Life Rewards member, you can earn entries now daily through December 28th. Knock out your holiday shopping on Sundays in December with the Cozy and Charming gift series. Visit MGM to pick up a luxurious robe and throw blanket, plus a Swarovski necklace and earring set. Perfect items to gift to friends and family this season. Satisfy your sweet tooth on Mondays with Santa's candy and cash giveaway. Ring in the new year with Bruce in the USA. Lock in your seats today and party with the #1 tribute band of Bruce Springsteen. Take a Vegas vacation without leaving the state. MGM Northfield Park, Las Vegas is here.
Hey now, welcome back, everybody. The Rizzo Show rolling on. Oh, look at how great. I got my son Michael Rizzo with me tonight. There's Mike
I had
on the
earring
left.
In that picture. If
Joey
you look
on the. Yeah, I begged you not to get the earring.
I know.
And now, how do you feel about the earring?
Oh gosh, it's embarrassing.
Remember?
Yeah, it's
was
really
Dad
embarrassing.
right?
You were right.
Dad's
100%.
always right.
Yeah.
And it's time to spin the wheel. Here we go, Mikey. We have no idea what this is. The Buckeyes. Michael, are the Buckeyes the best team in the United States of America?
I think so. Even though LSU's got, the right resume with beating all those SEC teams, but through special teams, offensively and defensively, I think with all 3 aspects of the game, I think they're the most complete team in the country, even though LSU really is one of the best teams in the country as well. That'd be a heck of a game in the playoffs.
I got to tell you, I like Ryan Day, and I like his offense a lot. He's going to get some calls from the NFL in a couple of years. Oh, here we go. They're spinning it without it. Jim Harbaugh.
Jimmy.
You know what? I got a lot of respect for Jim. I think he's a good football coach, but he cannot beat the Buckeyes 0-5. I thought he was really classy afterwards yesterday. Some reporters were taking shots at him. Michael, they're talking about, is Jim Harbaugh worth it in Michigan? Who would you replace him with?
Yeah, and I think they should hang on to Jim Harbaugh. The problem is he needs to get a quarterback there.
Yeah.
Shea Patterson's not going to cut it. Jim Harbaugh's a guy who coached Andrew Luck and who coached a bunch of other good quarterbacks. I have Colin Kaepernick.
Right.
He really made Cap what he was in the league. It's incredible to me that he can't find a quarterback at the University of Michigan of all schools.
Shea Patterson's done. All right, yeah, well, here we go. I mean, he's out of eligibility. Urban Meyer. All right, now, Herbie came out over the weekend, Kirk Herbstreit, and said Herb will not be coaching the USC Trojans next year. He knows that for a fact. But he has lobbied for the Cowboys judge. Mike, do you think Herb Meyer would do well in the NFL?
I don't know if his system with the quarterback and the whole running the quarterback every other play, I don't know if that'll work in the NFL. You've seen Lamar Jackson in Baltimore really take advantage of that this year, but I don't know. I think Herb. Everyone thinks Herb wants to coach again, but I don't think he wants to coach again. Everyone thinks he's going to coach again. Personally, it's got to be the right job, and I don't think the Dallas job or any job in the NFL.
Wait a minute, you don't want to come work for Jerry? You come work for Jerry.
I mean,
Everybody
I'd go work for Jerry, but
spin that wheel, baby. NFL MVP, you know who it is. It's my fantasy quarterback, that guy right there, Lamar Jackson, who I got in the 9th round, kids. It was the draft pick of the century. Michael, do you think anybody can overtake Lamar, who won again today?
I think Russell Wilson's definitely somebody who comes into mind for me. He's had a fantastic season. You saw him dice up the Browns and construct and orchestrate a game-winning drive versus the Browns in that Seattle game. One of those games that Freddie had the team up, but couldn't quite hang on to it, kind of like today, 10-0 with the Steelers. But as of right now, Lamar Jackson is the MVP.
I think we have time for one more. Let's spin that wheel. Is Dad funny?
It all depends.
Here in
Oh,
Canada,
gosh.
the place
You know how many
is going
people
crazy.
tell me?
But if you notice, nobody's on the street. Everybody's inside watching the game. Oh!
Kent State, right?
Yes. Outside rays. Do you know how bad that hurt, Dad? By the way, look at your dad walking right back to do it again.
Oh, gosh.
Boy, it's not like they show that a million times here on Fox 8. I'm glad you guys enjoyed watching me almost break my wrist. Crack my chin.
Kevin is laughing so hard right now. He's
laughing.
laughing.
It's not funny.
I can't
It was
tell you.
20 years. Has it been 20 years?
People still come up to me and go, "Do you remember when your dad fell on the ice?"
Yeah.
I go, I don't know how we can't.
All right. Well, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we will wrap things up right here on The Rizzo Show. Welcome back to the Rizzo Show. Don't forget, stay tuned to our good friends Big Chuck and Lil John. Michael, how many woolly bears have you been to?
We probably went 8 years in a row at one point.
You went more than 8. I was the anchor here for 15 years. You went every year. We were the anchor here for your good friend, Mr. Goddard. You knew you when you were a little guy. All right, Mike. Little time left here. The Browns have 5 wins on the season. They have 4 games left. What's the record going to be?
I think it's going to be 8-8. I think they'll go 500. I think they'll beat the Bengals twice, and I do think they'll beat the Arizona Cardinals, who are really struggling at home tonight, versus the Los Angeles Rams. I just think Baker up against Kyler Murray. I think Baker's going to little brother Kyler a little bit.
All right. I hope he does. Browns home against the Bengals next week. Michael, you did a great job. Your grandfather would be so proud of you. I think you passed the audition.
Thank you. I hope so. Yeah.
No shout-outs. No shout-outs, though.
No John and Strong's shout-outs? Okay.
Come on.
Gotcha.
Good to be alive. Good night, everybody.